Hello YouTube, and today I have another video for you guys on AtWar on unit management and economy. Now I'd just like to say that unit management is based on economy, which is why economy will be the focus of this video. Economy is more about understanding how the income system and finance system works, and from experience on how to use it, which I'll get to in a second. Economy is really something that will give you an edge in your opponents when you're playing games that require you to actually be able to manage your income, and in fact will help you not only in world map games but scenario games and team games where you don't have to be the only person stating that you need money. So let's begin. And of course, the benefit of being able to manage your money is not having to fall short when you need it, the extra unit most. We're going to be picking Germany here simply because it is the good pick, costs a lot, and you need to know how to use your income. Now first, we're in the strategy screen because I do want to tell you that strategies very important. They do have a influence on your economy. If you pick perfect defense, your cost for infantry is lowered, which means guess what, you're not going to be using as much money to maintain infantries, which I'll get to in a second. Skymen, the same thing. Air units are going to cost less. These will help you. A lot of people might say just go imperialist. Well, if you do not know how to manage your economy, or imperialist is not the strat to use, you don't just want to go all in with imperialist, because it's like using safety on something you need to learn. Sorry, I rephrased that wrong. It's like using training wheels on something that needs to be learned without training wheels. So let's begin. I'm just going to be using no specific strategy, but remember that picking a strategy usually gives its units a little income benefit, which will definitely help you in the long run. Alright, so we have to learn income. The 644 number you saw was just the total income here, but that's not true, as you can see here, simply because we have a thing called unit tax. Now what unit tax is, and you can see your income here by the way, unit tax is 10% of the unit will go into your cost per turn. So cost per turn, as you can see, is 6. Here's 3. Of course, if you have a strategy that influences this, the cost per turn will go down, and as you can see, everyone is there. It's only 10%, so see it in action. We made 2 infantries. Cost per turn is 6 because they both cost 60, and we just lost 12 gold per turn. Okay, we have, after that, you do want to know about the whole country bonus, which is if you have a country and you have all the cities in the territory, you get a whole country bonus, which is basically not only the combination of all these cities together, but you'll get a 20% bonus of that cities for all of that. So 20% bonus of the original income, which will get a whole country bonus, which is why you definitely want to take all the cities in a country. You can also get a whole country bonus, and I don't know why it says 0 there, but for some reason it says 0 here, so it's a bit glitched. Here we go. So now it's loaded. You do get a whole country bonus for countries that only have a certain income, and it seems to be taking a while to load. Keep in mind, there is a glitch to the system in which if you spam your infantries, then they are going, or spam any unit for that matter, they are going to, of course, glitch your income for that turn, but next turn it'll fix and the game goes as planned. It's just a graphical glitch. I'm actually like being disconnected right now, so I'll be right back. Alright, and I'm back. So this actually is good because we can see how making our units and everything, or should I say capturing cities, works. So what we're going to do is we're going to expand, and expanding is a good way, of course, of capturing cities. A lot of people like to do it differently, and like I said, it's the experience. Some people like to gradually build up to where they can get a huge amount of units and take over a bunch of territory, and basically they can use that to totally just get a maximum efficiency out of their stuff. Some people like to build up a high amount, build a lot of units on a certain reinforcement turn, which I'll get to in a second, and then later they go and it's like their final straw, especially if they're going to lose a long battle. Some like to do kind of a variation of what I said. I kind of worded it wrong, where they use all the income in their turn and then they use the income from the stuff that they gained last time. I'm just doing like a random expansion here, just kind of using all my units here just so I can just use my income up. I actually don't want to use all of it up, so that's what I'm going to do. This isn't by any means a good expansion. This is just for a example, but I will get into expansions later, so just stay tuned if you want those videos. Now, how do capturing cities work? So basically, when you capture a city, the initial income for a city on your territory is going to be, and on your territory meaning you control the lands. So like, for example, if you took the Czech Republic and we control it, it's going to be 50%, right? For example, let's take, and I do not want to try to use something with collateral, which damages the population and income, which I'll get to in a second. But if we take Prague, we are only getting the 50% from the income and whole country bonus, because it's only going to start on 50% for cities that you've just got. Alright, and it'll do for 10% on foreign territory, which I'll get to in a second here. The weekly increase, which is basically each turn, is going to be 25% up to 100. So as we can see here, and I'll get to that in a second, it's going to go up to 75% income and then 100. After you hit 100, your income will of course raise by 2% each turn, and your population, which has a kind of effect on the income, which I'll get to, is going to increase by 1% every turn. Until then, your population, unless you use collateral, usually isn't going to be affected that much, but your income is going to start on 50%. Let's look at the foreign territory. As we can see, we just took a foreign city in Poland, and you see we start with 10% increase simply because the city is on a foreign territory we don't have. So that's why you definitely want to take a city at the same time you're taking a territory, because going up to 100% from 10% every 25% turns is a lot worse than just starting at 50. In addition, on foreign territory, especially if we only have Poland, as we can see here, it's only going to go up 5% per turn. The maximum for a city you own, so above 100%, would be 150%, and the maximum for one of these cities is only going to be 50%, which is why you definitely do want to take these city and countries and try to utilize that whole country bonus to maximize that income here. Not only are you going to be each turn gaining income from your original territories, but you're going to be gaining that new expansion income. Now, that's how the income increase works. How does population actually take a toll on this stuff? So basically what population does is it not only influences the number of reinforcements, but it also gives a income on its max percent income. For example, if you have a city at only 50% population and you have a income at 100%, you're only going to get half of that income. So these numbers will mix together. If you have 100% population and 100% income, you're definitely getting 100% of that. And again, you just multiply the numbers and you'll see, because we only have 97% of our population and we only have 15% of our income, the number here is going to be correct, but whatever would be 15% is also getting bogged down by that only 97%, which realistically does make sense. Finally, we have this finances option right here, and it basically is not only good for unit management, but it tells you which cities, you could probably use for maximizing your income. It tells you what cities are gaining the most income, so if you need to prioritize a certain area because it's your main source of income, it tells you how much your units are taking away from your income, and it tells you that total, which is always nice. But mainly, and that will get us into unit management, is how the units work. And unit management is mainly about the efficiency of your units. You definitely want to have efficiency in AtWar when you're using units. That means 100%. I even am a big mistake when it comes to this, because true efficiency would be even using your militia. Now, a lot of efficiency can be gained from militia simply from just walls and walling, but mainly you also don't want to have a bunch of air transports. As you can see, not only does it bog down our finances, and after I update it next turn, because it will be updated, and let's do that. Let's look at our finances, and as you can see, now we have a 200, almost 200 increase in our unit tax, and we have 3 air transports. Well, if I had 1 air transport way over here, and I had 2 over here, and then for the rest of the game I forgot about this one, well, not only is that some militia that I could use to be using on the battle, but that's when I need it most, those extra units that are not on the cap or city. And I've had games where, 1 unit was a big difference. Another unit management mistake I see is leaving units, mainly not militia, because it's kind of hard to transport them, and sometimes they're good for bluffing, sometimes they're good to just keep in there just in case. It really depends on the situation, but mainly a lot of the times you definitely don't want to have units, or movable units should I say, like infantry and stuff, in your walled cities, because, and this isn't a good wall here, but if this city was a good wall, our opponent wouldn't be able to access it for 1 or 2 turns even. So having the units in here is not helping us any more than it is helping us on the front lines. Not only that, but when you lose units, you're gaining more income. Whether it sounds, I guess, correct or not, you shouldn't try to just lose units. You should be trying to use those units efficiently, of course, but you're going to be able to do that by having good unit management, and then you're going to increase your income. Of course, in a regular game, I'd probably be creating a lot of units. The last thing on unit management that you definitely want to know about is the auto produce feature, which is very good when you have a big empire. Let's say I need a lot of bombers, but I needed to get to Russia, and I was focused all on this area here. I had no time. I could just auto produce all these bombers, and usually what will happen is I can either execute all or cancel all, or have this check for execute automatically. Now keep in mind, if you have it on execute automatically, it will take a lot of management of the previous income stuff that I talked about, and definitely knowing about those lets you auto produce a lot more. So for example, let's just use our stuff here. Let's try to take as much as we can, and see right here, I'm already making kind of a mistake here on, I've lost 1 transport. I know I have 2 transports here, but I'm trying to find my other one, and here it is, and I can't do anything with it because, oh no, I didn't manage correctly. So there's firsthand, if I wanted to get as much expansion as I could, I didn't manage my units that good, and you see I lost some valid territory I could have had. Let's end our turn here, and we're gonna see what happens when we have executed automatically. Now our income went up just simply because we had already an increasing income, and the bombers are created this turn, so that's why execute automatically creates the units on the turn of the next turn. So let's say I had auto produce stuff in here, it wouldn't create militia until the next start of the next turn. which is good and bad. It basically helps me save time on transporting a bunch of units that otherwise I'd have to spend my time, you know, valuable clicks and stuff moving around, and really helps with movement and the time of the movement, which I'll get to probably later. Movement is especially in the timing of your movement, is a lot of advanced stuff that I'll get to later. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you're just incorporating, thinking about this stuff when you're playing in AtWar, because it will definitely make you better. It sets you definitely not like Clovis level, if any of you guys know, and I know a lot of you probably know or don't know. It doesn't make you Clovis level, but it does get you better than the average AtWar player, which is all you need. Practice for getting to that level.